All right, so I'm going to do a recap, go over today's trades. Today, not surprisingly, was pretty choppy. I traded two stocks. The leading gapper today, up over 300%, was a penny stock, FRGT. And you guys know I don't really like penny stocks. Now, I did take a few trades on it. And what's interesting is my trades pre-market, I didn't really have any issues with my orders. I usually wouldn't. But on the one trade I took at the open, when I went to sell it, my order was rejected. And it gave me a message. The message said, risk check failed. Risk check failed. And so my order to sell, when it basically hit its high, was rejected. And as a result, I was holding when the stock dropped and got halted back down. So why did my order get rejected? Well, what a lot of brokers do is they put parameters on their traders to automatically reject orders based on certain thresholds. And one of them is if you place an order that is 10% outside the current market price. Now, this is a problem because my hotkeys to sell are a 10-cent offset. And so as a result, trading a $1 stock or a stock less than $1, it would be 10% outside the current price. What's interesting is I did not get risk check failed once, and I took my first trades on FRGT when it was at $1. That was my first entry. I traded from $1 to $1.04, $1.04 to $1.12, $1.12 to $1.20, $1.20 to $1.30. So I took a bunch of trades, made about $1,000 on those trades going up. I didn't get any risk check failed orders, but then at the open, I did. And unfortunately, it wiped out all the profit I made and put me red on that stock by $1,000. So I'm red on FRGT by $1,000. Now, as you know, yesterday was also a red day. Yesterday was a bigger red day. And so what I said was, all right, I've been on a nice, pretty steady increase here, but I just had a $10,000 red day yesterday. So what do I have to do for today? We said, number one, remove, this was based on yesterday's episode, remove the buy button, specifically the hotkey, because the hotkey can allow me to be a little impulsive. I can all of a sudden shift one, boom, 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 I'm in 10,000 shares. Shift 5, I'm in real quick, so I can size up way too fast. And so taking away the button slows me down. Number two, capping share size at 10,000 shares. Now I actually increased that to trade FRGT up to 20,000 shares because it was so cheap, but I didn't feel like I was taking a lot of risk really because the price is so much cheaper. So I said yesterday there was a chance of having another red day today. As always, there's always a chance of having a red day, but I didn't want to have another red day like this. So by doing these two steps, while today is a red day, it is a smaller red day than yesterday. All right, so I'm down $2,000, $1,989 red on the day, red on FRGT, red on C4. And I didn't trade C4 yesterday. I didn't trade it the day before. I traded it today in two places. My first trade was as it broke over $6 a share, which was, let's see, it was, where's my drawing tool? Well, I'll just get the arrow here. So I bought first at $6 for the break of this daily level. The price is a little higher now, so the range is a little bit bigger, which I like. So my first trade today was at 6. Sorry, my microphone's kind of in the way. And then my second trade, I got in right here. And on this one, I kind of was like, you know what? I'm just going to hold this for a second. Let's see if this thing just starts to pull away. So rather than take the profit when it went up to 75 and 85, I was like, I'm just going to give this a second. Now, what I said yesterday was that sometimes after having a bigger loss, you start to get into this you start trading around that loss and you're thinking, I'm not going to just take profit. I'm going to let this ride a little bit and see if I can get 50 cents a share out of it. And I kind of did that today on C4. I had profit. I could have pressed the sell button and been up, but I didn't. And then it went red. So, and after that, I was like, you know what? This is two strikes. I could go for a third and be out, but I think I'm just going to take myself out of the game here. Down $2,000 is enough for me, just to feel like it's not happening. My window is kind of closing on the day. And so that's that. So those are my two trades on C4, which I still, could say I shouldn't have even traded at all because I really don't like the float on it. It's not a fresh gapper. It's good continuation setup. The break of 6 was fine. This trade up here, I mean, it was a fine trade. I just should have taken the profit, and I didn't. So that was the mistake on that one, which was influenced by yesterday's loss. FRGT. This is the luck of the draw, unfortunately, with this risk check failed button. It's really a shame. It just is what it is, and it's happened to me before. So I could email the broker and complain and say, hey, why, I never got the risk check failed error all through here when I was trading it. Why do I get it up here? And I also didn't get it when I pressed the buy button. I only got it when I pressed the sell button. But, no offense to my broker, but they all say the same thing. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Can't really help you. That's what they always say. There's nothing, they don't even know. Most of the people who work there don't, the most people who work at most brokers don't know as much about active trading as you or I do. So they really don't know. And this is just the way it is with trading. It's sometimes you get a bad fill. Sometimes you get a good fill. We don't complain when we get good fills, and I don't complain when I get bad fills. I just say I might be a little disappointed and a little annoyed, but at the end of the day, this is sort of the luck of the draw with trading, and I just, there's nothing I'm going to do about it. So anyway, so it was very unfortunate because I was in this off of this dip right here into the halt. It opens, it goes up to 40, and it started to kind of stall out. So I was like, I'm going to press the sell button at 35 or whatever, 36. But naturally, risk check failed, and then it goes into a halt down, and I didn't have time to enter a new order. So the way this kind of works is that if I put an order at, probably way down here, it's going to say, you know what, this is so interesting. So it's actually not even giving me that risk check failed at an order at 58. Well, no. So why would that be? Because it's not marketable? Because that's a buy order. Well, I could try doing, let me try with 100 shares. I'll put a order at $1.50. Right. Okay, so I'll show you what this is doing. So this right here is showing me risk check failed. So that's what happened. And there's nothing I can do. I mean, except go manually. Shoot. No. Yeah. It's halted. I missed it. And then you're stuck. So when you have fat fingers, like many of us do, there's just not a lot of hope. So yeah, today was a little bit discouraging. And I really started today. I started today kind of with all the right things. I had a little bit of chamomile tea, no caffeine. I was like, let's keep it mellow today. It's kind of funny because I saw this yerba mate tea at the store, and I was like, oh, I remember drinking this. When I was in my 20s, I was drinking this. So I was like, oh, I'll grab one of these. And when I was in my 20s, one of my friends was like, this tea will give you, like, this is like so great for focusing. You should drink this. And I was like, all right. So I had a 1 gallon, like cider jug or milk jug. And so he made a thing of it in the 1 gallon, and I started drinking it. And I got this energy about me. I was like, wow, I do feel focused. And I said, what I'd really like to see right now is goddamn Mount Rushmore. Who's up for going? Got in the car, drove 36 hours straight to South Dakota to see Mount Rushmore. Now, I thought this was just natural energy. This little drink here has 150 milligrams of caffeine in it. I'm now only imagining what a full gallon of this had. And now I realize that this is actually not a decaffeinated beverage. This will give you a tremendous amount of energy, a level of energy that I don't need in my trading right now. Right now, I need to slow it down. I need to take it slow. I took away the buy button. Buy button, gone right now. So this buy button, hotkey, gone. Cap my share size. Well, lifted it a little bit, but it's the cap will be back. And this is the cap for trading your typical, $3 to $10 stock kind of range. So I'm going to leave the yerba mate. I'm going to leave that one for another day. There were some days in 2020 and 2021 where getting juiced up with a little bit of that could have really paid dividends. But in this market right now, slow down, be patient. And you know what? Yeah, losses are going to happen. I mean, this is trading. The fact is, I'm probably red. My average, I allocate 4 red days a month. So right now I am on 3 red days. This is my 3rd red day of the month. Often my red days do get clustered together because the market gets slow. But I sort of figure 4 red days a month and averaging, about 20% of my days, 25% of my days, probably 20% are red days. So losses happen, let it be water under the bridge, and then come back tomorrow. And I'm telling you, if I sit down tomorrow, we have a stock that's really strong, and all of a sudden I'm in the zone and I'm get a good trade from like 550 to 6 with 6,000 shares. I'm up $3,000. And then I buy the dip, pulls back. I buy a dip at 595, and then it's at 640. I'm up another $3,000. All of a sudden, it's like, whoa! I look at my P&L and I'm up $7,000. It can happen so fast in the right market when things are hot. And then in the cold markets like this, it feels like so much effort just to make $100 or $200, but it's also very easy to go into the red. FRGT, not my favorite price range, as you know, but leading gapper. And so I was like, don't be biased. It's the leading gapper. It's the most obvious. Take a stab at it. But my tools are not tuned to trading that kind of stock. And now that according to my IIC, C4 has just gone up to $7.40, which is, I mean, it's frustrating to see that. At the same time, I'm only down $1,000 on it. Like if I jumped back in here with 5,000 shares and then, it flushes back to 7, I'm going to lose $1,500. And all of a sudden the day goes from, manageable to this is encroaching on, doubling, having 2 big red days in a row. And now what that means is the hole is deeper. When I finally do start to turn around with some small green days, it's going to take more of them before I've made back 50% of my loss. And I can't step up to the plate with big size until I do that. So 50% of my loss yesterday was to make back $5,000. Well, now I'm down on a $12,000 drawdown because of today. So now I'm down $12,000 off my high, which means I need to make back $6,000 in sort of trader rehab mode before I can add the buy button back and increase share size back to, 20,000, 25,000 shares or whatever. So this is unfortunate, but it's better for me to, contain the losses, manage the risk, and recognize that, some days you'll have a stock like this and it's like, son of a gun, why was this not willing to break out right here? Such as like when I was in it, because that would have been certainly very nice. Well, it dropped down. It's below this resistance line. It busts through it here at 7 and then gives you a 50-cent pop. All right, that's great. I mean, I'm genuinely happy for you guys who traded it. It's good to see it up. It's better than, total rejection. But it is annoying for the traders who had early entries, got stopped out, and now it runs without us. But the worst thing you can do is slam that buy button up here at the top, and now you're sitting here looking at the chart, and you're like, okay, I am now down 25 cents. This is selling off. Last time it sold off almost $1 a share from the top to the low here. How much am I willing to let this go red against me? Right? And you either get stubborn and hold and average down and it just keeps going lower, or you cut the loss. Or you have the impulse control like I have right now to say, as nice as this is, I'm going to say I can't keep trading because of this right here. So, it is what it is. Stocks are going to go higher, and it doesn't really matter what happens after I call it a day, because, while it's nice to see this move, the downside risk, you can't think only about upside potential. That's what a gambler does. That's what a full-on degenerate does. You have to think about downside risk. We can all tolerate the upside potential of when this works. And when you FOMO in at the top and then you get that Hail Mary redemption and it squeezes up to 77. But let's just think for a moment about the person who didn't sell just there. They were like, I'm not selling this till it goes to 8 because I'm still down 10 grand on the week. Well, now look at you. You're down 75 cents a share off of what was the high of this candle. And you have a giant false breakout. It's a shooting star. That's a reversal indicator if I ever saw one. So, it's... So, someone was saying earlier, no one worries about where a taxi goes after you get out. But we certainly do worry about where the stocks go after we get out. And that is a very good saying, and you're definitely right about that. And so the best way to stop worrying about it is to just close that window. Boom, it's gone. And not to look at it for the rest of the day. It's water on the bridge. You let it go. And you come back and you do it again tomorrow. You try again tomorrow. And that's what I do. So I'm going to be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Well, finishing off the week. Tomorrow's Friday. So I sort of have lower expectations for tomorrow. This is going to be a red week. I didn't total out where I'm at on the week. I do think about it sometimes in weekly totals. Like, all right, well, so I have one red day, but can I still be green on the week? That's not going to be the case this week because I think I was up 3,500 on Monday, and I think I was up 1,000 on Tuesday. So that's 4,500. Then I lost 10,000, so now I was still down 6,000 or basically 5,000. So now I'm down 7,000 on the week. Yeah, I mean, I certainly could make 7,000 tomorrow. It's not out of the question, but I'm just gonna say this is gonna be a red week. So let's just assume that maybe I'll make 100 tomorrow, maybe I'll make 1,000, maybe I'll lose 1,000, but more or less, whatever. It's still gonna be a red week. It's not gonna move the needle. So this will be sort of my red week of this month so far. And when I come in next week, sort of clear the slate, try to just focus on A-quality setups. And if there is nothing, that's kind of the question today. I could have just chosen not to trade FRGT, and I could have chosen not to trade C4, and it'd be a 0 day instead of negative 2,000. 0 is better than negative 2,000. So maybe I should have done that. Something to think about. All right, so that's my recap. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you hit the thumbs up. I hope you're subscribed to the channel and check out an episode that I'll upload or that YouTube thinks you'll really like. It's a recent upload right there. All right, I'll see you guys back here first thing tomorrow morning.